Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro. Be sure to follow us on all of our social networks to obtain relevant and enhancing headlines by logging on to our website, www.mexiconewsnetwork.com. Let's start with today's show. According to information from the Ministry of Tourism, hotel occupancy in the country during Easter holidays, which went from March 21st to 27th, reached 62.35%, an amount that exceeded the numbers of 2015 by 3.6% points and is the highest since 2005, when occupancy reached 65.29% nationwide. According to preliminary data, hotel occupancy reached levels of 84 to 95% at predominant nationwide beach destinations. The main beaches visited during this holiday season were Riviera Maya, Cancún, Cozumel, Isla Mujeres, Acapulco, Ixtapas-y-Guatanejo, and Oaxaca. 60 airlines made an average of 200 operations a day in the Cancún International Airport alone. According to data from the Ministry of Tourism, hotel occupancy in Cancún, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, Isla Mujeres, Puerto Morelos, and Riviera Maya reached levels of up to 97% during the period. One of the factors that influenced the increase in tourist activity was the devaluation of the peso against the dollar, because with this, national destinies cheapened and attracted both national and international tourism. In other headlines, Mexico is currently the #1 country in natural gas consumption produced in the United States. The Mexican market displaced the Canadian market, which had been leader for a long time, according to data from the Energy Information Administration, an organization that is responsible for providing statistical data in the Department of Energy for the United States. According to the agency, Mexico received 60% of total exports that are made in the United States, an amount that is expected to increase over the coming years, thanks to the expansion of the pipeline network in which the Federal Electrical Commission and Petróleos Mexicanos are currently working on. By 2015, the volume of monthly exports of natural gas from the United States reached 1,500,009,024 cubic feet, with a volume for Canada of 57,446,000 cubic feet, while Mexico received 91,940,000 cubic feet. Purchases of natural gas made by Mexico from the United States have increased since 2010, and in recent years, gas imports increased from 332.2 to 728.5 million cubic feet per day, an important increase of 118%. And according to Foresight of Natural Gas and LPG 2015 to 2029 by the Ministry of Energy, for 2029, imports of natural gas will reach 4,052.2 million cubic feet per day. Moving on, released a few days ago was the study KPMG's Guide to International Business Location Costs, where Mexico leads with first place. Mexico has a cost advantage over the U.S. of 22.5%, well above Canada, which is 14.6%. This is due to the devaluation of the peso, which, although it brought some repercussions for the country, it also clearly brought certain advantages now that many companies are seeking to land in the nation. Basically, what the study says is that to install a company in Mexico is cheaper than any other countries, which is why the country is currently #1 choice for international companies interested in expanding. The study, KPMG's Guide to International Business Location Costs, was applied in 111 cities in 10 countries, and its results placed Mexico as the most accessible to position a company above Canada, Netherlands, Italy, Australia, and France, among others. Other factors such as the cost of labor, office rents, and low cost of freight by air and land have also helped boost the country's competitiveness. According to the report, Mexico has the greatest cost advantage in the corporate service sector, for total business costs are less than half of those in the United States. In particular, Monterrey and Mexico City occupy first and second of the list out of 111 cities that were included in this study. In other news, Alpharma Laboratories announced some time ago the creation of a new cluster that will carry biotech medicines. This new cluster of the company belonging to the pharmaceutical group Alpharma is located in Vallejo's industrial neighborhood in Mexico City. It had an investment of 750 million pesos and it measures approximately 20,000 square meters, in addition to the ability to expand vertically. In these installations, the pharmaceutical company will manufacture biotech medicines with its high-tech equipment, which required a heavy investment. Likewise, Efren Ocampo Lopez, president of the firm, said that at this time they are modifying some bioengineered medicines in order to innovate and grow. Alpharma currently holds about 1/6 of the market in the public sector, with which they deliver about 200 million medicines to Mexicans. Alpharma Group opened its first plant in Vallejo in 2009 and also has a factory in Puerto Rico, through which they import and export raw materials as finished products to the United States. The statistic depicts Mexico's real gross domestic product growth rate from 2010 to 2015, with projections up to 2020. The Mexican economy advanced 0.5%, slowing from a 0.8% expansion in the previous period, as final data showed. The figure came below initial 0.6 growth as industrial and agro contracted while service sector growth was unrevised. The services sector grew 0.9%, slowing from a 1.0% gain in the previous quarter, and the industrial sector contracted 0.4% after showing no growth according to preliminary estimates and a 0.7% increase in the previous period. Agriculture output fell 1.9% compared to the initial estimate of 1.7% drop and lower than 2.5% increase in the previous quarter. On a year-to-year basis, the GDP advanced 2.5% in line with the earlier estimates. In Mexico, services account for 62% of total GDP. The biggest segments within services are wholesale and retail trade, real estate, transport, warehousing, communication, financial services, and insurance. Industry constitutes 18% of output, and the largest segments within the sector are automotive industry with 4% of the GDP and food industry with 3.8%. The remaining share is divided by construction, water, gas, electricity distribution with 8%, mining with 5%, government with 4%, and agriculture, forestry, fishing, hunting with 3%. This is all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and log on to www.mexico News Network for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.